In the name of our Lord, Jesus Christ. Whereas most Christian, high, excellent, and powerful princes, king and queen of the Spains and of the islands of the sea, our sovereigns, in this year of grace, 1492, after your highnesses had overthrown the powers of the Moors at the city of Granada, where in this present year on the 2nd day of January, I saw the royal banners of your majesties planted by force of arms upon the battlements of the Alhambra, which is the fortress of that city, and saw the Moorish king come forth from the gates of the city and kiss the royal hands of your highnesses, and of my lord the prince. And in the present month, in consequence of the information which I had given your highnesses concerning the lands of India, ruled by a prince called the Grand Khan, which in our language means King of Kings, and how he and his ancestors had often sent to Rome for learned men who might instruct him in our holy faith, and how the Holy Father had never complied, so that many believing in idolatry were lost to the doctrines of perdition. Therefore, your highnesses, as Catholic Christians and defenders of the Christian faith against the doctrines of Mahomet and all other idolatries, did resolve to send me, Christopher Columbus, to these parts of India and to this prince and his people to learn their disposition and the proper means of converting them to the Christian faith, and ordered that I should not go to the eastward as is customary, but by a westerly route, in which direction we have hitherto no certain evidences that anyone has gone. The Log of Columbus. Thus, after expelling the Jews from your domains in the same month of January, your highnesses ordered that I should go with sufficient fleet to this same part of India, and for that purpose most graciously elevated me to the title of Don, High Admiral of the Sea, and perpetual Viceroy and Governor of all islands and continents that I should discover and gain both now and hereafter in the ocean sea, and that my son should succeed me, and so on from generation to generation forever. Hereupon I left the city of Granada on Saturday, May 12th, 1492, and came to the town of Palos, which is a seaport, where I did arm 3 vessels for such enterprises, and departed from that port well supplied with provisions and with many sailors, on the 3rd day of August of the same year, being Friday, half an hour before sunrise. I steered for the Canary Islands of your highnesses, which are in the said ocean sea, that I might thence set out for the Indies to perform the embassy to the princes there, so as to comply with my orders. As part of my duty, I thought it well to write an account of all the voyage, most punctually, noting the happenings from day to day, as will hereafter appear. First voyage to America. Moreover, I did resolve to describe each night what had passed in the day, and to note each day how I had navigated at night. I intend to draw up a nautical chart which shall contain the several parts of the ocean and land in their proper situation, and as to compose a book to represent the whole by pictures with latitudes and longitudes, on which accounts it behooves me to abstain from my sleep and make many trials in navigation which will demand much labor. Here begins the log of Christopher Columbus's first voyage to America, as copied out in brief. Set sail from the bar of Saltis at 8 o'clock and sailed with a strong sea breeze till sunset towards the south for 15 leagues. Afterwards steered southwest and south by west, which is the direction of the Canaries. Friday, August 3rd, 1492. Saturday, August 4th, 1492. Steered southeast by south. Sunday, August 5th, 1492. Sailed day and night more than 40 leagues. Monday, August 6th, 1492. The rudder of the caravel Pinta became unshipped, making the steering most difficult. It was suspected that this had been planned by Gomez Raskin and Christopher Quintero, to whom the caravel belonged, for they dreaded to go on the voyage. The admiral says that before setting out these men had been inclined to oppose and pull holes, as they say. The admiral was much disturbed at not being able to help the Pinta without danger, but he says he was somewhat quieted when he thought how brave and energetic a man was Martin Alonzo Pinzon, captain of the Pinta. Made during the day and night 29 leagues. Tuesday, August 7th, 1492. The Pinta's rudder again broke loose. Secured it, and made for the island of Lanzarote, one of the Canaries. Sailed day and night 25 leagues. Wednesday, August 8th, 1492. There were differing opinions among the pilots of the three vessels as to their true situation, but that of the admiral proved to be nearer the truth. He was anxious to go to Gran Canaria in order to leave the caravel Pinta there, since she was steering badly and making water, and he wished to secure another vessel if one were to be found. They were unable to reach the island that day. Thursday, August 9th, 1492. The admiral was not able to reach the island of Gomera till Sunday night. Because the Pinta could not be navigated, Martin Alonso remained at Gran Canaria by command of the admiral. 21 days, August 10th through 31st, 1492. Here the voyage is interrupted while the Pinta is repaired. The admiral returned to Gran Canaria, and there, with great labor and the help of Martin Alonso and the others, repaired the Pinta. Rigged her with square sails instead of the lateen sails that she had carried before, finally sailed to Gomera. Saturday, September 1st, 1492. Saw great flames of fire burst from a high mountain on the island of Tenerife. 3 days, September 2nd through 4th, 1492. Returned to Gomera with the Pinta repaired. The admiral says that many honorable Spanish gentlemen, inhabitants of the island of Hierro, declared that every year they saw land to the west of the Canaries, and others, natives of Gomera, confirmed the same on oath. The admiral here says that he remembers, while he was in Portugal in the year 1484, that a man came to the king from the island of Madeira to beg for a caravel to search out this land that was seen. This man swore that it could be seen every year and always in the same way. The admiral also says that he remembers that the same lands of the same shape and size and in the same direction had been seen by the inhabitants of the Azores. Wednesday, September 5th, 1492. After taking in wood, water, meat, and other provisions which had been provided by the men left on shore when he went to Gran Canaria to repair the Pinta, the admiral was now ready to start on the long voyage with the three vessels. Here begins the long voyage into uncharted waters. Thursday, September 6th, 1492. Set sail from the harbor of Gomera this morning and shaped the course for the voyage. The admiral learned by a vessel from the island of Hierro that there were 3 Portuguese caravels cruising about with the object of taking him. This must have been the result of the King of Portugal's envy that Columbus should have gone to Castile to the King and Queen of Spain. It was calm the whole day and night. Friday, September 7th, 1492. In the morning were between Gomera and Tenerife. All Friday and Saturday until 3 o'clock at night, becalmed. Saturday, September 8th, 1492. 3 o'clock at night it began to blow from the northeast, shaped the course to the west. Shipped much sea over the bows, which made progress slow. Day and night went 9 leagues. Sunday, September 9th, 1492. Sailed this day 19 leagues, and determined to count less than the true number, that the crew might not be dismayed if the voyage should prove long. In the night sailed 30 leagues at the rate of 10 miles an hour. The sailor steered badly, letting her fall away to the northeast, even to half a point. Concerning this, the admiral many times rebuked them. Monday, September 10th, 1492. This day and night sailed 60 leagues at the rate of 10 miles an hour. Reckoned only 48 leagues, that the men might not be terrified if they should be long upon their voyage. Tuesday, September 11th, 1492. Steered a course west and sailed above 20 leagues. Saw a large fragment of the mast of a vessel, apparently of 120 tons, but could not pick it up. In the night sailed about 20 leagues and reckoned only 16, for the reason already given. Wednesday, September 12th, 1492. This day steered the same course. Sailed day and night 33 leagues and reckoned less for the same reason. Thursday, September 13th, 1492. This day and night sailed west, 33 leagues against the currents. Reckoned 3 or 4 less. On this day, at the commencement of the night, the needles turned a half point to northwest, and in the morning they turned somewhat more northwest. Friday, September 14th, 1492. Steered this day and night west, 20 leagues, reckoned somewhat less. The crew of the Nina reported that they had seen a tern and a bosun bird, or water wagtail. These birds never go farther than 25 leagues from the land. Saturday, September 15th, 1492. Sailed day and night west, 27 leagues and more. In the beginning of the night saw a marvelous bolt of fire fall from the heavens into the sea at a distance of 4 or 5 leagues. Sunday, September 16th, 1492. Sailed day and night west, 39 leagues and reckoned only 36. Some clouds and small rain. The admiral says that on that day and ever afterwards they met with very temperate breezes, so that there was great pleasure in enjoying the mornings. These were most delightful, wanting nothing but the melody of the nightingales. He compares the weather to that of Andalusia in April. Began to meet with large patches of weeds, very green, which appeared to have been recently washed away from land. From this judged some island was near, though not a continent, according to the opinion of the admiral, who says, the continent we shall find further ahead. Monday, September 17, 1492. Steered west and sailed, day and night, above 50 leagues. Wrote down only 47. Current favorable. Saw a great deal of weed, which proved to be rockweed. It came from the west, and was met with very frequently. Were of opinion that land was near. The pilots took the sun's amplitude, and found that the needles declined northwest a full quarter. The seamen were terrified and dismayed without saying why. The admiral discovered the cause, and ordered them to take the amplitude again the next morning, when they found that the needles were true. The cause was that the star moved from its place, while the needles remained stationary. At dawn saw many more weeds, apparently river weeds, and among them a live crab which the admiral kept. He said that these are sure signs of land, never being met with 80 leagues out at sea. The sea water was found to be less salt than it had been since leaving the Canaries. The breezes were always soft. All very cheerful. Strove which vessel should outsail the others and be the first to discover land. Saw many tuna fish, and the crew of the Nina killed one. The admiral here says that these signs of land came from the west, in which direction, I trust in that high God in whose hands are all victories, we very soon shall sight land. This morning he saw a white bird called a water wagtail, which has not the habit of sleeping on the sea. Monday continued. Tuesday, September 18th, 1492. This day and night made more than 55 leagues. Wrote down only 48. All this time the sea was very smooth, and the ships sailed upon it as they would have done upon the river at Seville. This day Martin Alonso, with the Pinta, which was a swift sailor, ran ahead of the other vessels. He called to the admiral from his caravel that he had seen great flocks of birds flying westward, and that he expected to see land that night. For this reason he pressed onward. A great mass of dark, heavy clouds appeared in the north, which is a sign of being near the land. Wednesday, September 19, 1492. Continued on and sailed day and night 25 leagues, experiencing a calm. Wrote down 22 leagues. On this day at 10 o'clock a booby came to the ship, and in the afternoon another arrived. These birds do not generally venture more than 20 leagues from the land. It drizzled without wind, which is a sure sign of land. The admiral did not wish to cause delay by beating to the windward in search of land, although he held it for certain that there were islands to the north and south. This, in fact, was the case, for he was sailing in the midst of them. His wish was to sail on to the Indies, since there was such fair weather. For if it please God, as the admiral says, we shall examine these parts upon our return. Here the pilots found their places upon the charts. The reckoning of the Nina made her 440 leagues distant from the Canaries, that of the Pinta 420, that of the admiral 400. Thursday, September 20th, 1492. Steered west by north, varying with alternate changes of wind and calm, made 7 or 8 leagues progress. 2 boobies came on board, and afterwards another, a sign of the nearness of land. Saw large quantities of weeds today, though none were seen yesterday. Caught a bird with the hand which is like a tern. It was a river bird and not a sea bird, with feet like those of a gull. At dawn 3 land birds came singing to the ship. They disappeared before sunset. Afterwards saw a booby coming from west-northwest and flying to the southwest, and evidence of land to the westward. These birds sleep on shore and go to sea in the morning in search of food, never flying more than 20 leagues from land. Friday, September 21st, 1492. Most of the day calm, afterwards a little wind. Steered the course day and night, sailing less than 13 leagues. At dawn saw so much weed that the ocean seemed to be covered with it. The weeds came from the west. Saw a booby. The sea smooth as a river, and the finest air in the world. Saw a whale, a sign of land, as they always keep near the coast. Saturday, September 22nd, 1492. Steered about west-northwest, her head turning from one point to another, varying the course and making about 30 leagues. Saw few weeds. Some sandpipers were seen and another bird. The admiral here says, "This head wind was very necessary to me, for my crew had grown much alarmed at the thought that in these seas no wind ever blew in the direction of Spain. Part of the day saw no weeds. Later they were very thick." Sunday, September 23rd, 1492. Sailed northwest and northwest by north, and at times west, nearly 22 leagues. Saw a turtle dove, a booby, a river bird, and other white fowl. There was a great deal of weed, with crabs in it. The sea being smooth and tranquil, the sailors murmured, saying that they had got into smooth water, where the wind would never blow to carry them back to Spain. Afterwards the sea rose without wind, which astonished them. The admiral says on this occasion, "The rising of the sea was very favorable to me, such as had only happened before in the time of the Jews, when they went out of Egypt and murmured against Moses, who delivered them out of captivity." Monday, September 24th, 1492. Continued the course west and sailed, day and night, 14 leagues and a half, reckoned 12. A booby came to the ship, saw many sandpipers.